Good afternoon, everyone. Country Flyboy here, and today I'm going to show you my AI setup. So, my AI is a bit weird. A lot of people have asked me how I got my AI set it up. So, I want to talk a bit real quick. I have used payware AI packages several times. I've used three, the three big ones, which are My Traffic X, which has since become Traffic 360, and Ultimate Traffic 2. Those are the three payware AI packages that I have used, and they all suck. I'll tell you this much: like Traffic 360 and Traffic X were notably bad, but they didn't hit the performance too hard. My Traffic X was slightly better, but hit the performance really hard, and Ultimate Traffic 2 was the best one. So I guess if you want a payware AI recommendation, I'd say go there. But really, the best traffic I have found has been freeware. I'm going to show you the traffic I use today. My main complaint with payware traffic programs was, at first, like, they look good and they come everything like military, GA, and airline all into one convenient package. But that's where their usefulness ends, because if there's one thing they're bad, all the traffic flies IFR. That's it. Like, every single plane was on an IFR flight plan. I checked this numerous times, and yes, it was just, they were always IFR. No one ever flew VFR. I think what happened was, back in the days of FS9, AI traffic had to fly IFR. That's just how AI traffic worked. They always flew IFR. But with FSX, not only could AI traffic fly VFR, they could also do touch and goes and practice instrument approaches at airports. Yeah, but none of the payware guys ever, I guess they just did not read the SDK, because they never really did anything with the new features, with the exception of Ultimate Traffic 2, who did assign flight plans to their AI planes. So you did actually see AI planes flying along the airways. That was another feature FS6 added, was AI planes could actually have a flight plan with waypoints in it that they flew to, as opposed to just going direct all the time. Ultimate Traffic 2 was the only one that did that, and it did its AI a bit weird too. So I'm going to show you mine today, and everything in my AI is freeware. It is all freeware. I'm going to show you how I do it. So I'm going to break this up into sections. So first section, I'm going to talk about how I have it installed. Now, when you download AI, they're going to tell you to install it in a particular scenery directory, or if it has an installer, this is where they're going to put it. They're going to go scenery, and it'll be in world, I believe, and then scenery. Yeah, this is where traffic is going to be. The reason they put it here, I don't know why, because it does not actually have to go there, and I highly recommend you don't put it there. As you can see, the only traffic that I do have here is from ORBX and from Captain Sim with their military traffic. Looks like there's some other stuff in there as well. The reason I think a lot of people go here is because this is where the default traffic BGL is. And this right here is your default traffic, by the way. Note I've put a ZZZ at the end of it. That puts that file to sleep. What it is that this is a active scenery folder right here. And FSX, whenever it has an active scenery folder, it will load all files with the extension .bgl. So if you want to disable a particular file, you can just change the extension from .bgl to .zzz. That will put that file to sleep. So that's how that works. And I just did that with the default traffic, so my default traffic does not show up. Now, I don't recommend you put this here, because this is in a deep system file. This is always active. What I recommend you do is actually put it in add-on scenery, and you can see I have three folders here for AI. AI aircraft, AI military, and AI ships. You do not have to put it in the folder that it goes to 9 times out of 10. Recommend you put it here. Make a new folder for it. Make 2 subfolders inside that, scenery and texture, and put all the BGLs in here. You probably don't need to have texture in there, anything in there, but all the BGL folders go in here. The only reason you have the texture folder is so it's complete, and FSX will recognize it as a new scenery directory. So here's all my installed AI traffic. All of it. It's lovely, isn't it? The reason I recommend you put it here is because you now have to add, to get this to work, you'll have to add it to the scenery library like any other scenery. So when you add, these freeware sceneries I got here, like the one I made for Atlanta, you add this directory to the scenery library to get it to work. The same applies with aircraft. Now what this does is it lets you use the scenery library as a de facto mod manager. So if any point you want to disable any one of these without completely killing off the others, you can just flip it off in the add-on in the scenery library, and it kills it completely. So that's a neat trick you can do with AI traffic. So I highly recommend you move the files over to here. That way you can use the scenery library as a mod manager should you need to. As you can see, I got 3. I got one for ships, military, which is all military AI aircraft, and one for aircraft. So real quick, let's talk my traffic of choice. Now I use World of AI to supply all of my airline traffic and some of my general aviation traffic. So if you go to worldofai.com, this is the home page. Let's go to packages. This will show the most recent packages they have. Just go over here to all World of AI packages, and you can sort this by name, country, period, release date, and airline. Just pick the one you want. You can sort it by release date, which it's already sorted by, and you can see just how badly out of date 90% of it is. Like, this Delta one was not updated since 2013. Good Christ. So yeah, I downloaded all of the North America ones. That's Canada and the United States. So I have all of those and some international airlines. So if I fly in anywhere other than the United States and Canada, there's a notable decrease in the number of airlines because I did not download all of them, just some of them, like the main ones like Air France and Speedbird and ANA, just to get international airlines that do fly to the United States. So that's how that's done. If you go down here, you can also see they have cargo airlines. They have, some general aviation, so you'll get Ultimate GA is here. Smugglers, which fly around Florida and the other places. Boeing business jet traffic. There's some military packages here and some defunct airlines. You download all of them. I'll show you how to install these in a second because installing them is finicky, but you can download them from either avsim or flightsim.com, website of your choice. The next AI I use is for all of my GA traffic, I use 2 different things. I use ORBX freeware AI traffic for North America. This is GA traffic for all of their North American airports, essentially. It does not cover all of North America, just the airports that they go to. However, I do recommend this because this has several decent quality AI models that fly well because they were specifically made for AI. Sometimes planes that you fly as the user do not work as AI. You may have seen in some of my videos a Cessna 310 just crashing on the runway and dying and being deleted by FSX. That's why. It's that Cessna 310 was designed to be flyable, not AI. It doesn't always go back and forth. These were all designed specifically for AI, and they're frame rate friendly. They have great LODs, and their variety is amazing. There's a huge variety of airplanes in this, for everything from Citation jets to Global Express to Cessnas and all over just so many different types of AI here. Highly recommend this. This is an installer, so you can just download and install it. The other thing, which you can only get from flyawaysimulation.com, is GA traffic. This is called FSX GA traffic, and I'll show you this in a second. But basically, actually, you know what? I'll just show you this right now. If I launch it right now and show you what this does. What this does is this builds a BGL of GA traffic based off of some parameters that I enter. So it builds data from FSX installation. Any scenery you have and whatnot gets thrown in there. Then it uses this stuff over here to generate a landing fee for an airport. So as you can see, this is in points. It's no particular currency, so just think of it as points. An airport that has an ILS, automatically 5 points. If it's got lights for night landings, 2.5. If it's used for cross country, it's 75. Per 1,000 feet of runway is 0.3. Parking fees is 2 points across the board for each parking spot. So a small, but a cargo is 250, a gate is 750. You get the idea. You can change all of this. This basically assigns a landing fee to each airport in the database. Now, it also scans your list of installed airplanes. So here's everything that I have installed in my FSX. Every single sim object that is some type of vehicle. So you can see, like, I just saw it, the Iris something. Yeah, like Iris, AIM 120, and AIM 9, which are part of the Mudhen driver package, are showing up. All that fun stuff. So this lets you individually turn on or off individual airplanes. So what I did was I turned off all of my flyable planes and the default ones, except for like the Piper Archer and the the MD-80 is off too, and like a couple of other, and then just activated it for each and every one of the ORBX airplanes. Then you can set up the other parameters here. This basically says, like, if I select the Piper, or let's go with something else. Let's go with the Cessna 177. So here I can set some information about the Cessna 177. Its cruise speed and all that. All that's general information. Is it IFR equipped? Do I want it to be used? Probability of use is 100%. That means there's a 100% probability that it will use it on a particular flight. Where it gets interesting is this here, the money per week / flight. What this is how much money, in points again, that this airplane has per flight. And it will only go to airports that have a landing fee lower than this number. So what this means is this will force the AI to other airports. So this Cessna 177, you're never going to really see it at Atlanta International, for example, as Atlanta International is got a huge landing fee. But this Citation 2, you will see it at Atlanta International, because look at its week or money per flight. And then you can set up what do you want this plane to be used for. So air taxi, business aviation, which is like ferrying businessmen, a company-owned airplane. Rental, which is just some guy flying around. Student, which is training. Club, which is flying clubs. And private, which is an individual who owns an airplane. And using all that, if you look at the parameters over here, say like a student, minimum flight time of 1 hour, maximum flight time of 3 hours. So student pilots will always fly between 1 and 3 hours. They will never go to an airport that's further than 3 hours away or closer than 1 hour away. There's a 50% chance of them being IFR, meaning 50% chance they'll fly IFR, 50% for VFR, and a 100% chance of them doing touch and goes. So there's a 100% chance they will do touch and goes when they arrive at the destination, and a 40% chance they will fly at night. That is the parameters there. Then I just set the month. I select, I set my traffic level. I have it roughly half, and then I just generate flight plans. And then I walk away from the computer for a while, because this is not going to be done for a long time, because it covers the whole world. But when it's done, there will be a single BGL file generated that does all of the GA traffic, and it is highly realistic. Notably, unlike payware AI packages, AI planes are no longer just IFR. They're IFR and VFR, and they also fly in the traffic patterns. So it basically went from, when using the payware packages, I could get away with being a lazy pilot, not tuning radio frequencies, not listening in on stuff, and all that fun crap. But now with this, I actually have to watch what I'm doing. I have to tune my radios to the local CTAF frequency at any airport I go to, because not only is it entirely possible I'm not the only plane there, I'm probably not. Most of the airports I go to, there's almost always someone in the traffic pattern, usually. Also, I've seen planes doing practice instrument approaches. Like the other day I was flying in somewhere in Florida. I can't quite remember where, just south of Cross City and north of Tampa. I think Springdale was the name of the area. Or Brooksville, that was it. Brooksville, Florida. And I was flying around there, and I was in the traffic pattern, just doing touch and goes. There was another plane, a Piper Navajo, I believe, in the pattern with me. So I was having to worry about what he was doing, because the FSX ATC engine doesn't quite handle that too well when you get more than one plane in the pattern, but you kind of work it out as you go. Then there was another plane who came in on an instrument approach, and that one was a Beach Baron, I believe. He did an instrument approach, but he went missed. I landed, taxied back to parking. By the time I had done that, he was coming back in on another approach, went missed again, and then I sat there and watched the other dude land for a while, and then that Baron came back, third time, went missed again. So it didn't, and the weather was great. It was clear in a million. There was no reason for him to be going missed, except he must have been doing practice instrument approaches. That's the only thing I can figure, is he was on an IFR flight plan and was doing practice approaches, which is something that's done quite a bit in real life. And usually when you're doing them too, you do a lot in one sitting. You won't do one, you'll do several. You'll take the plane down to minimums and then perform the missed approach. That's just how you do your instrument training. So that was really neat to see that, and I have to watch myself now. It's awesome. It's just awesome, and it's totally free. Blew away every single package I've ever spent money on. Completely, totally free. Highly recommend this program. Let's close that out. Next, I use for military traffic, which you may not see sometimes. I don't have it turned on all the time, but I use Military AI Works. And Military AI Works functions just like World of AI. So when I tell you how to install World of AI here in a little bit, this is how you also install military traffic as well. These two have installers. Oh, this might just be an executable, but this has an installer, so you don't have to worry about that. Lastly, I want to talk about AI ship traffic. So I recommend you download this right here. This is FSX/P3D Global AI Ship Traffic version 1. This was by Henrik Nielsen. This is what you want to download. I'm on flightsim.com. I know you can find this on Simviation, probably Avsim as well. When you search for it, you may not find it right away. You may see all these other ones like 75 AI ships and traffic or AI for Northwest Europe. Forget all of it, because this package here is the one you want, which combines all of those below into one convenient download. It's humongous. Look at that size. But it's definitely worth it. And it installs just like AI traffic. So basically, I think it's a manual install, but it's going to ask you to put your AI models in here, and it'll tell you to put the BGLs in that Scenery World Scenery folder. Don't take it to the add-on Scenery folder like I did right here. And you can see here's all the BGLs for it. I think I have some aircraft carriers in here as well that's not a part of it. Yeah, there we are. And again, you can flip that on or off. This is by far one of my favorites, because this adds to the immersion of Flight Sim so much to see those ships running around. Because the default ships in AI are lackluster. Like, there's a few ferries and some carriers running around, but you really didn't see any cargo ships or cruise ships. You see them now with this. They'll be cruising up the shipping lanes around the coast. I haven't seen any traveling the international shipping lanes, though. So that's a thing. But yeah, they'll be cruising around, and it's so nice to see them. They'll even park up at ports too. So real quick, that covers the AI downloads. Let's talk installing them. Now, I've already discussed this is an installer, so I'm going to go ahead and close that page. This is an executable, if not an installer, and I've already showed you how to work that. This is the same as World of AI, so let's close that out, and let's close this out. We'll get into the VRM thing in a little bit. So I've already downloaded a package from World of AI. I downloaded something from Japan. So let's look at it. Solaseed Airlines. So here is the thing. Here's the README. This is you know, all that. It'll tell you the parking code if you do scenery design. That's the code you need to use to assign them to a particular gate. All that fun stuff. You may notice there's a zip file in here, which is something I usually dread because, okay, if you're zipping up a mod, if you've made a mod and you want to share it and you zip it up, do not, under any circumstances, zip it up, put it in another folder, and then zip it up again, because that does not work. When you zip, I think people think you can compress it more. You can't. When you've zipped it up, or you've put it in an RAR, or whatever you're sharing it as, you've compressed it to the maximum already. It's as compressed as it can get, and zipping it up twice isn't going to do that. This is not one of those cases, however. This is a custom zip file. It's a zip file. If I go into it, you can see it has a custom file and a README in here. But it's a .woai. This is a custom file you need a program to read. So if we go to my AI flight planner, and where did I put it? Oh, here it is. If I launch the World of AI installer, which runs as admin, give it a second. Oh, didn't this time. I'll show you how to install these. So just click through this, select the package to install. I always install to my desktop. Right there it is. Open that. And I want to install it to FSX. And you could extract the files from manual, but I'm not going to. Here's the FSX path. Here's the aircraft subfolder. Go to next. I agree to the terms and conditions. Not really, because who the fuck reads any of it? So here's the information about it. It's version 1. It's valid till winter of 2011. Here's the current models it uses, and here's the credits and all that fun stuff. We'll go to install, and yeah, it's done. I could restart, which will take me back and install another one, but we're done with this. So you may think it's installed, and you'd be right, except for one minor problem. Remember I said mod developers or add-on developers wasn't getting with the times earlier, like they didn't do the new features in FSX? Well, World of AI is really guilty of that as well. World of AI has done fuck all to get with the times, and they're still using the old FS9 version stuff. Like, these are FS9 models, most of them FS9 flight plans, and this is a problem because they have used an FS9 BGL. So if I go back to the Scenery World Scenery, and we'll find it because they install it here. Here it is, Traffic 00, World of AI, Soulseed Air, Win, or Y11. So, or for Winter 11 there. This is an FS9 format traffic file, or FS9 BGL file. Everything here is an FSX BGL file. This is an FS9 BGL file, and there's this nasty little thing with FSX where it is backwards compatible. It can read that file, but it can only read one type. So if it's reading this one, it's not reading all these others, and this one file here will kill your AI traffic. So that's a thing. Even though I selected to install it for FSX, World of AI, who has acknowledged this bug in the past, by the way, they know what's wrong and they know how to fix it. They just don't freaking bother. So yeah, bad World of AI. You should fix that, please. Anywho, this here needs to be fixed. And the way we fix that is we download another little program. I know I'm asking you to download a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of work. It's real tedious to get all this working, but once you do, it's definitely worth it. I wish there was a freeware package somewhere that just combined all this into one convenient area. Unfortunately, World of AI has a stick up their ass when it comes to that stuff. So we're just going to real quick run as admin AI Flight Planner V2. Now, you can use this to build your own AI flight plans. It's a bit of a involved process. So the only thing I really ever use this for is this nice little feature right down here. Convert FS9 to FSX. So here, I just need to find my folder, which was in the FSX it's in the Scenery subfolder, extracting notes, and it's under World Scenery. And there it is. It's searching for an FS9 format. Right there it is. So I'll just select that one. And we can select others. There's different ways to show this as well. Add FS9 suffix to FS9 traffic files. Add FSX. I want to click that. So this is going to add an FSX suffix to the end of the file name. delete FS9 file after conversion. I recommend you click that. What that's going to do is it's going to convert this file, then delete it, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to minimize that just to prove it to you. And use raw, don't know what that does, but we're going to use select, and then we're going to select the destination folder. So where I'm going to put it, computer, local, flight sim, add-on scenery, AI aircraft, scenery. That's where I want it. Confirm FS9 files would be deleted. Yes. Conversion report, you can dump to Notepad. That's just telling you it did it. Now if I go here, the file's gone. And if I go to the add-on scenery folder, AI aircraft, scenery, world of AI, or 00 world of AI, something, soul, there it is right there. Soulseed, winter 11 underscore FSX. That file is there. Next time I launched FSX, it'll rebuild the scenery database because it's got a new file in an active scenery directory. And that will take care of that. Now, that custom file from the GA traffic program, that's what it looks like, traffic-GA. You see I got two of them here. I got one that I keep around as a backup. This is the previous version. I compile a new version every couple of months, but this is the previous one that I use. That way it's there in case I need to restore it if the new one doesn't work. I recompile one every couple of months, though, usually at the start of every season, so I made this one a few days ago, actually. Yeah, on the 19th of November. So all this is in here. And the same thing I just did with World of AI, you would also do with the military AI works traffic. The ship's traffic is already in FSX format because the mod developer was intelligent. So, yeah. Now, I just need to start FSX, add those directories to the scenery library, and we're good to go. That is my AI traffic in a nutshell. Two more things I want to talk about before we go. One, the scenery directory levels. So in FSX you have... Actually, you know what? I'm going to start FSX and show this to you. Alright, so here we are at the scenery library of FSX. And you can see this in practice. I've got my traffic folders set up. Here's the military one. It's disabled right now. So you can see I sort of use this as a de facto mod manager. Here's my a little over 100 add-on sceneries. Now, there is a way you want to do this. So the way this works is the scenery engine works in a hierarchy. Down here you have all the default scenery areas, which are active all the time by default. There's default scenery, default terrain, all that fun stuff. So all this is default, and starting from around about here you get add-on scenery, and then everything above that are extra add-on sceneries that I've added over the years. So yeah, the way this works is FSX is going to load the default, unless it will load any one of these unless it sees another one on a higher priority. So for example, let's see. Let's say John Wayne right here, SNA. It will load SNA from the default scenery down here, but it also sees there is an SNA up here. And it's by BGL file, by the way, so not by name. Since it sees there is a John Wayne up here, it's going to load this one. So that will overwrite a default, essentially, is how this works. It will always load the higher priority one. Now, what this means is you can actually change things in the scenery engine, like, say, approaches, since they're part of airport scenery, all that fun stuff. Now, there is a way you want to do this. Anything that affects the world, like magnetic variation or time zones, those need to be top priority. They need to be above even the airport sceneries. So magnetic variation is part of scenery, for example. So Fly Tampa here may have changed the variation of Tampa International. But if I had a magnetic variation update file, then this would be a priority, and it would load that one instead of this one, essentially, as far as variation was concerned. Now, AI traffic needs to be the next level, and then you can start loading in scenery. So, as you can see, I have the first four are all global stuff. So AI traffic, time zones, and whatnot. Cancel that. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's all there is to it, really. That will take care of that. So there's one last thing I want to talk about, and that is the VRM Generator. This is for those of you who use vPilot to fly on VATSIM. You may have noticed that vPilot is not the best in the world when it comes to model matching. You have to download its rule sets, but you also have to download the associated models. And if you don't have all of the associated models, because again, World of AI doesn't have them all in one convenient download like they should, instead they have it spread out all over the place. So yeah, it gets to be a pain in the butt if you don't have that set up properly. This little thing here will let you set up a custom directory or a custom model rule set for vPilot. So I'm going to load the program real quick. And here it is. And the way this works is this will scan my simulator, and I can specify where I have AI airplanes installed. It's going to look in airplanes. It's going to look in... can I change this? Can I add a new one? I don't know how. There's a way to add a new one, but I'll have to look into it. But basically, yeah, it's going to look here for different AI aircraft to use. Then, when I click go, it generates a custom file that I can install to vPilot that builds a model matching rule set based off of my installed AI. And that will basically eliminate any unfound models errors that you may get, where it'll say you have a rule set but you don't have the associated file or model to load, and it just loads in the next available one. So that highly recommended. Like, since using there's a new one, there's a 3.6, I'll have to download that. Since using this, I no longer have model matching errors in vPilot. It 90% of the time will load the correct model. Now, model matching in VATSIM, non-exact science. Like, it has to be set up on your end as well as the other person's end in order for it to work. And if you have a buddy who's using FSN, that old piece of crap, then yeah, it may not work, because FSN had a known problem of sending incorrect data in the data packet for the type of aircraft to show. That's usually where you'll get your paper airplanes for you Squawk Box users, or the A321 thing with you vPilot users. It doesn't know what to show there because it's getting incorrect data, usually from FSN users. Sometimes from vPilot users too. Something weird there. Or if the person has entered the incorrect code, that is a very common thing. Someone might enter, say, B200 for the Beechcraft 200, but that's not the correct code. The actual code for the Beech 200 is BE20, not B200. Funnily enough, the Beech King Air 350 is B350, not BE35 like you'd think it was. If you entered BE35, that's a Beech Bonanza. So yeah, the code, everything has to be done correctly, and unfortunately most people don't do things correctly. So that is my AI. That's how I set it up. Again, like, all 100% free right there. There's nothing paidware in it. I still have Ultimate Traffic 2 installed in case I ever decide to reactivate it, because it was an easy one to just you can just disable it entirely. So it's still there if I want to use it, but I don't think I'm going to be using it anymore. This just works, and it does it better, and it's completely free. Really, really tedious, and took a few hours to set it up properly, but once I did, it was really nice. If I could, I can't do this because of copyright reasons. World of AI would have a fit, but if I was an asshole and didn't care, I would probably upload all this in one convenient download for you, but unfortunately, I can't do that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. That's how my AI is set up. I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.